I was just switching on the fan. It's pretty hot in Calcutta now. I just came back from a good 2 week uh, work break, if I may say so. It was a break because I wasn't doing my normal work, but it was work because I was in the cities of Ahmedabad, I was cities of Bombay, Mumbai, and parts of how these cities have developed over the years. What are the kind of different businesses which are running over there, and fascinating, uh, you know, difference between the east and the west in terms of you know, the amount of the sheer amount of business which is happening in these parts, the western belt. All of this, I was thinking and writing about. In fact, no, I was just having my nightly walks on the terrace. Is where I came up with this idea of community business. Now, what is a community business? And it's very, this may be a little long in terms of how my normal videos would be, but I feel this is something which each and every person who is doing a job, and I guess that is pretty much 90% of the workforce. Oh no, Let me rephrase. If you're a citizen of India, or for that matter, citizen of the world, this is the video that you would need to see. In this video, I talk about how you can, as being an individual in the community, provide some value to the community. Inherently, you can provide some value to the community. But now, if you start associating yourself with your friends and families and the larger community which you are part of, and collectively figure out ways, by ways, the business term would be an actual business, which can bring value to a set of buyers for which a transaction of trust is made, that is, revenue is provided, and then as part of this business model, which is run by the community, created by the community, you can go ahead and donate a part of that value created, the revenue, to the government, to the councillor, to the MLA. As a community, this is the money we are giving you. So be accountable for the money that we are giving you and show us what you do with the money, because this is not money that you are collecting from the taxes. No, this is money that is being generated by a business which is built by the people of the community. And I will give you multiple examples of such businesses which can be built by the people of the community, even if you are doing a job, by the way. So once you do that, then you make the government accountable that, hey, this year we gave 17 crores from the city of Mumbai to the government. What happened with that 17 crores? Was it utilized for beautification of these old historic buildings with lights so that it looks so beautiful? People from across the globe are now coming there to see those beautiful, magnificent structures which were created hundreds of years back. Quite literally, I'm very bad at history, so I don't know the exact years in which these buildings were made. But jokes aside, that 17 crore is like an investment by the community people of Bombay to ensure more revenue gets flown in by the help of tourism. People would come, would want to take those pictures. Now, this 17 crore investment can actually give you 170 crore in revenue. And this figure I'm not making, you can see my video on the impact which I Love New York had on New York, the state, from a tourism perspective. And we all know we've like the whole world has blatantly copied I Love New York concept. And this campaign is a classic example of how community people can come together, put in their resources and the minds, create IP. Imagine this. Just imagine this. Okay, a set of 20 people come together, figure out, okay, let's make these small 5-minute stories about Mumbai, about Kolkata, about, and people are making it also. But it's just that everyone coming together. I know of someone, he's a relative of Sohail Iftikhar. He's making some wonderful content about Kolkata. Indrajit Da making wonderful content about Kolkata, right? Futka, Mir, you have Shammo making wonderful content about Kolkata. But the important is, how can we help these guys? So imagine, like, if every one of us starts sharing the content which is basically showing Kolkata in the best way possible, so that tourism gets inbound tourism, we start getting inbound tourism. Similarly for Bombay, similarly for Ahmedabad. To break the notion of, even if you are someone from across another part of the country, come and visit our city. Because when you think of it, when you're thinking of taking a vacation, it's normally to a touristy place, like a place where you have a hills, or the suppose the seas or some nature. But why not go to Bangalore? And a lot of people do it also. I am not saying that a lot of people don't do it. A lot of people do it. I myself know of two individuals, my brother and my wife, who would love to go and explore just the cities. Again, trying to reiterate the fact that what can be a community led business. Let's deep dive into it a little more. What a community led business is, what it can do. Let's talk real numbers. By coming to the fact that you can understand this is coming from a person who is doing a job. Now, that's a different story, that I've done business for 10 years. That's why I am always looking out as to how more revenue can be generated. That's how I look at the world as such. So, let me give you a community led business idea. I feel, and I have got some validation, that I can take good photographs. I see the world very differently in terms of how I can showcase them through some good, hopefully good photographs. Few of my photographs have got published as book covers, you know, few have gone viral, and I could not have taken these photographs which went viral, which was on the book cover, until and unless I had help from the community. What do I mean by that? The first photograph which went viral, I'll have a photograph here of the Howrah Bridge and the Hooghly Bridge, because I was working at that point of time with my partner and editor in chief of a magazine which used to get 22,000 approximate day sessions, like unique users coming to the website each day. So this guy knew what brings users or people to your website. And he took me to this place called Dhobighat, where if you are at Dhobighat, you can't just not take that photograph. It's like so easy. I did not have to put any effort, honestly. Sohail got me to a place which I was just seeing in front of me, like no other people of Kolkata has seen, or very few has seen. Mother Nature has worked her magic to give me wonderful monsoon rain clouds, lovely drama in the sky. All I had to do is wait for the perfect time and frame it correctly. Now, that is a photograph which tells or which shows Kolkata very differently. And I am 100% sure, like you are from any city, you also know a lot of these photographers who have shown the city of where you stay in the best way possible. Now, imagine this. We collect all these photographs, make a small video or content, and a proper campaign around it, where the campaign is being run by the government, the travel ministry of your state or of your city. So they are the people who suppose investing 1 crore in ad. Where else is money coming from? The money is also coming from few of the sponsors of these camera equipments. Like say suppose Canon would want to get associated with these campaigns, or maybe for that matter GoPro, because they've just launched an interchangeable lens system. I don't know the name of it, but GoPro getting into interchangeable lenses, and if it can be waterproof, like I don't know, we are looking at the next evolution of camera technology. Then at least from what I've seen in camera, and I would say I've had a good share of my experiences with different cameras. But coming to the business part of it, like a community business. So imagine then again, Canon putting in another crore. Okay, good, great. What else? When people are coming to a city for a visit, they would ultimately end up seeing these real estate company hoardings who are building these wonderful works of architecture. Now imagine another 8 crores coming from these real estate players, because the margin of real estate, like all real estate players knows, crazy. If suppose I am a person living in the city of Mumbai and I go to Calcutta for a visit of 2 weeks, and I see that Calcutta is a damn cheap place for investments from the perspective of me looking at it, if I'm staying in Mumbai, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'll spend 3 crore rupees in this flat, because it's a nice 5,000 square feet flat, a great area, it's in a great complex. So when real estate people, they'd happily put in 8 what 20 crores is also nothing, because let's look at the distribution of it. This community business is dependent solely on distribution. That is the game of this business. So if you are, suppose, in the city of Calcutta, and if you want people from other cities to come and see, it's like you personally, like we'll try and give you or get you this content, or the content which needs to be shared to you through as many ways as possible, but we still need the help of the community to ensure that they share. It's the virality on which this business is dependent on. And imagine this, if we start all these big cities, all these big places which are part of this, in my ideal way, it's like this is happening at an India scale. Like the whole population of India is sharing things, resharing things, showing the world that India is the greatest place on earth when you want to see diversity. If you want to understand diversity, there is no better place in the world than India. Now imagine this, if the whole country of India, and I'm looking at people from the community coming here translating this message in Telugu, so that the Telugu people, who are regional people understanding Telugu language, they are also able to understand why they should be sharing a piece of content, and they also share. The algorithms of Facebook and YouTube and everyone will trip, like quite literally trip. We'll be the trending in a matter of seconds. And once that happens, imagine the sheer number of tourist footfall we can expect. I've already talked about the numbers in this other portion of the video, but I'll still say again. I'll have to look at the exact numbers, but if I'm not mistaken, it was a 10x or a 20x jump in revenue or something like that for the new I Love New York campaign. So this is a campaign which is not I Love New York, but it's a version of that. And like I, I saw this wonderful book, and I'll show you that book. My wife bought it, like Steal Like an Artist. I Love New York campaign had too much of a significance in terms of New York is still, you think of it, the center of the financial world at this point of time, at least in terms of where money is. You have, because you have the stock exchanges over here, over there, like we have it in Bombay. So, as a city, as a country, I request every one of you, if you feel this community led business is something which you want to be part of, let's share this so that when the HR comes and says that, hey, you can't be doing this because you are in a job. Yeah, I'm in a job and I'll ensure that the job is being done properly. But hey, if I have 3 hours extra in my personal time, I can be part of this community led business. And if we all end up sharing this, the HR themselves would be in this community led business. So they won't even be asking this question. And coming to the owners, who may feel that, hey, you're losing out on how the resources which you've employed is utilizing their head. Think of it. You are also part of the community. You can also be part of this community business. All you want is to grow your money, to grow the revenue. And I'm not saying for once, look at your company and your community led business as two different mechanisms. Look at it as a unified mechanism as to how more money can be generated by providing more value. Say, for example, if you are an owner of a CMS provider, a SaaS, or a reputation management company, you have other community members basically helping you market yourself. So think of the larger impact it can have on your business. Like just for an example, if you have a product, say for which helps write different stories about the business, and it's costing somewhere around, I don't know, 500. I'm talking India context, say suppose 500 rupees every month. So 6,000 rupees yearly contract. So it's a 2 year contract. So 12,000 rupees yearly contract. And this tool helps and lets people write stories about their business. This as a tool you have as a company. So you are an owner, you have a tool like this which helps businesses write stories about themselves. This tool has extreme good access management where, if a business like a hotel has 1,500 employees, you actually have the capability through the platform of the stories app to ensure 1,500 people are given access so that they can write the different stories that they are seeing in front of them unfolding every day. These stories can be in the format of videos, can be in the format of photographs, can be in the format of text, and all the multimedia, or audio only for that matter, all the multimedia that we can think of. Now, as an owner, if you're thinking, imagine if everyone in your business is actually trying to propagate this product across their networks, their friends, their families, wouldn't you get more sales? Aren't you actually, for the first time, utilizing your entire workforce to ensure the only one thing that a business should look at from a North Star perspective, that is revenue? So, if you have a product like that, and this is a fictitious product, right? This is not a product that I know exists in the market at this point of time. But if you are the owner of a company who can come up with a product like this, and say, suppose you have 500 people in your organization, and each and every one of them, whenever a sale happens through some of their link sharing, like you can easily figure it out how to get that tracking done, they get a percentage out of it. Isn't that helping you grow your revenue? Isn't that helping the other person who is helping you grow that revenue getting a little bit of profit from each sales that is happening? It's like the commission on the sales. And isn't that overall what you want the company to grow? So from an owner's perspective, would you want, or Would you mind if your quote unquote employees who you hire for 8 hours, 9 hours, 10 hours for their time and resources do a business? Because now imagine this, you are a owner, you only have 500 people, but other people who are in this community, say for example 5,000, living in the different cities of the country or the world for that matter, also start promoting your product. Imagine the scale you get. If you've been dreaming of scale, see how a community led business can help you scale. And this, I'm just giving an example. Has been a pretty long video, I think, and taking the analogy directly from Mumbai, a city which I never thought, I never wanted to go for reasons which require a different video altogether, but a city which I never wanted to go, but an experience which I absolutely had to have. And this is where I'd say it also matters the concept of time. When is very important. Time. If I would have done this Mumbai trip anytime, even before 2 years, the experience would not have this enriching. So time is always the best judge of when things should happen. So let it just be. Just be, enjoy what you're doing right now and enjoy it so much that you don't feel that you are doing anything. Because a lot of people have asked me this question as to why. Like how do you work? Why do you like, and I always tell them that I'm never working. I have two sides of my life. It's very black and white for me. Life in general has been very black and white for me. I have a white, which is the life of me, the person who spends money. And what do we get when we spend money? We, just like how an employer gets by spending money time, that's what we get, time. With the time, you can do whatever you want. So that is a part of life, the white part of life, which is where you spend money to take back time. And then there's the other portion where you spend time to earn money. And having done business for 10 years, I see life just like a business. It's like I, as an individual, a business owner, is part of a community, and I have these two parts of my life, white, black. It's very, the white part is where I spend money to get time. The black part is where I give time, I spend time to earn money, that is revenue from business perspective. And that's why I think I can utilize my time better when I am looking at sharing such business ideas, especially community led business ideas, since it inherently has the moat of distribution. And anyone who is actively in business right now knows the crazy amount of advantage you have when you have a good moat. Ask any businessman, ask any business house who have survived business for long years, 10, 20, 30, 40. They would say that the number one difference as to why they survived was their moat, and how over the years they have had to change their modes slightly, either through marketing, sometimes through positioning. So moat is what I feel every individual has as being part of the community. The beauty is, can these people of the community come together, quite literally assemble their moat into an army, which can produce something of value which is then transacted to the other party, who feels that whatever you guys produced as part of this community business is extremely valuable for them. Just before ending, another, say for example, community led business. Say every society, these big associations, they know who the kind of people are living in these societies. You're looking at 400, 500, 700, 1000 flats in a society. And in these societies, who are staying people? Market research companies spend so much time and money to get research data. How about you, as being association partners, people, collect the kind of data which market research companies needs on a quarterly basis and provide them in a very structured way. That way, market research companies know that their supply chain of a particular set of audience, for whatever type of question it is always set. So market research companies can actually start worrying less about their supply chain for getting this data. So that is the problem you solve. And as part of the community or the management of this big society having 1000 flats, you are able to generate some money, certain revenue, which you can deploy now then again to having, I don't know, maybe more electrical charges for cars. Supposedly EVs are the thing. I have not driven the EV. I have not gone into the full logics of how EVs can be extremely beneficial for the environment. I would want to do that someday, some with someone who is like learned in this field, because as I will end this video with a screenshot from ChatGPT, LLMs can sometimes give you answers which are nowhere close to perfect, and the way they give it, you will not be able to understand that is it true or not, because they are very convincing in how they put the answer forward. So it's very important that you have a subject matter expert review everything which is being spitted out by any AI. Thank you so much. Today is the 28th of April 2026. This has been a long video.